Hello, everyone. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain how. It's free. Isn't that awesome? There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Is that amazing or what? It's everything you need to make your podcast in one place. So, here is a call to action for you. I would recommend you start your podcast today. Download the free Anchor app, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started. Talk with you soon. Greetings and salutations to you all, and welcome to another episode of MiThyme Motivation. It's your host, Tasha Ryder. I hope all is well with everyone today. So, as always, before we get started, I want to take some time out to thank all of the essential workers out there. We're going to have a very unveiling type of podcast today for MiThyme Motivation. So, take the time and thank you for listening. Today's video is about the force. So, the reason why I decided to tune in and turn this particular topic and unpack it was because it's very near and dear to many people without knowing and unknowing. And then some people are still seeking the force. So there's a tug-pull mechanism when you are a spiritual person that exists in everything that you do and you say. The yin and the yang, the right and the wrongs of the world. And many people know this as you're looking at the person in the mirror and dealing with these types of activities or these situations. The angels and the devils, the good and the bad, or the ugly and the good. You're constantly in question about these things, doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Now, when your first impression in life tells you to seek out to do the right thing, then this particular activity becomes easier because your goal is, who can I help? How can I do good? And those are your first thoughts every day. But then there's this force for other people who they're dealing with, is this right? Is this wrong? And you're constantly in question about your activities from the day to day. So the force is something that does not allow itself to be dealt with in a quiet manner. Let's take relationships. Excuse me. So in relationships, if you have to force a relationship, it's possibly like oil and vinegar. Then you're going to take the oil because the oil flows very freely and it's not so bitter. And then you have a decision to make. I would recommend to take the sweet or the oil because it's free flowing. It causes no stress. It causes no dissension. It causes no negativity. In life, you want to always have someone that adds value to who you are. They're going to show up as your best self. This is consequential and adverse at the same time, depending on the circumstance, the position that you take, or perhaps your mindset So let me give you some examples. Let's say you're in a relationship and you constantly have exactly what you're looking for. It's consequential because your mind says, it's okay. This is what you've put into the universe. This is what the universe presents to you. It can be adverse when you do the opposite of what I've used in this example. For example, you constantly are indecisive about the type of person that you need in your life that compliments you, that rewards the best self that you put forth. The universe presents the opposite of what you requested because you're uncertain. So instead of your best self, you get this very wildy self, this person that is the opposite of you, or perhaps everything that you wish you can present in a negative energy, this person does willingly. Adversity. So this force that presents itself in all of us is powerful, but not more powerful than the God that spiritual beings or religious beings serve. Or if you believe in the universe, it's not more powerful than the universe. Or perhaps you just believe in self. It is not more powerful than self. The force presents itself as a struggle. So, what are you struggling with? Going against the grain, for example, maybe you're in a position where you need to move from your current employer, but you're comfortable where you are. It presents very little adversity. You know the job, you're comfortable doing the job, you know the people, you know the do's and don'ts in the atmosphere, in the environment that you work in, and you manage to maneuver accordingly. But what is this job presenting to you? A lack of growth, a lack of improvement, a lack of succession, a lack of promotion. It lacks many things, and you know this, but you're comfortable. So let's talk about when your comfort level leaves you, what will be your plan? Have you even decided to put a plan in place prior to being uncomfortable? This is something I would recommend because you never want to make decisions based highly on being and solely on being overly emotional and forced to make a decision. It's possibly going to end in a decision that has some side effects, some consequences, meaning that it was not a well thought out plan. These things are activated when the force feels empowered. Your inability to make a decision for your life causes the force to make one for you. Your inability to make a decision about the type of life and vision and plan you would have for you and your family causes the force to show up in your indecisiveness. Some people will reference this as the universe. However, I go outside of the universe in this matter because I believe strongly in the universe consistently presenting things that empower you is what the universe will do. However, the universe always, in my mind, wants me to succeed. However, in my indecisiveness, the universe allows the force to combat, stand in the midst of the indecisiveness, and make the decision for you. So, how many of you would like the force to stand in your way? Of course, the force is not working towards your benefit. it works towards adversity, dissension, negativity, and things that really don't line up with the Word of God, the Word of the universe, or anything spiritual towards you. Something to think about. Highly, I recommend taking an account of the things and decisions as they have happened in your life. Possibly looking at journaling, because then you can see where the force has presented something adverse in your life and made the decision for you. So, as adversity presents itself, the force gets in alignment with that. As indecisiveness presents itself, the force gets in alignment with your indecisiveness to make the decision for you. For example, you know not because you did not, because you've asked not, because you've planned not, because you envision not, because you have decided not. And the force shows up in your life. Let me know if this makes sense to you. And thanks so much for tuning in to MiThyme Motivation today. Do not allow the force to strengthen you. Allow the spirit of who you are designed to be to provide no limits on your destiny. We'll talk soon. And thanks so much for tuning into MiThyme Motivation.